I think most business owners don't understand exit planning, and they think that a lot of times they can wait until the last minute to actually start doing exit planning for their business. Now, with exit planning means a lot of different things. Some people hear it and think, I'm going to sell my business. And that is one option when it comes to exit planning. But sometimes exit planning can be as simple as, you can step away from the business one day a week. You don't have to work Fridays. You can go on a long vacation with the family and you don't get the calls and the emails and everything else. You're setting the business up so it can run without you. You're somewhat exiting the business as you still own it. There's other ways where you can do succession planning, bringing family members in, management teams that can start buying you out of the business, but you can still run the business too. So I think the biggest thing people don't think about when it comes to exit planning is all the options that are available. People think, okay, I'm not going to sell this business for another 10, 15, 20 years. Why am I thinking about exit planning right now? But the way to think about it is it's good business strategy to start exit planning as soon as you possibly can. Because the more you can divide yourself, remove yourself from the day-to-day operations, exit the business a little bit, the more valuable the business becomes. And the better it is for you, the owner. I mean, no owner started a business to run, 7 days a week, 70 hours a week constantly. So exit planning now can really help you move away from that day-to-day grind and prepare you for, at some point, stepping away from it. 50% of business owners have to exit their business for unexpected situations. Whether that's, death or disability or divorce, they just have to move away for some reason to take care of family, whatever it may be. A lot of business owners aren't ready to exit. Something comes up in their personal life and forces them to exit. So before you get to the point where you're forced to exit the business and not really get what you need to out of it, start preparing today so you're ready whenever that point may come. Yeah, I think a lot of people hesitate because they only see, two options. It's either I sell the business or I'm stuck in this forever, basically, and I have to work the day-to-day grind. But really, putting somebody in place to manage the business is a whole exit strategy in itself. Having that option to remove yourself and have somebody else run the business is a great option. So I think business owners just need to understand that hopefully they're doing some type of strategic planning with the business. Hopefully they have goals lined up in the future. Exit planning needs to be part of that conversation because it's not, I'm just going to sell it in 5 years and be done. There's a lot of options that you can actually use when it comes to exit planning. Yeah, definitely. So the biggest difference between lifestyle and a growth business, you can either be one or the other. There's not a right or wrong answer. But a lifestyle business is really somebody that is probably a sole owner and they're just doing it. They're a plumber and they like to just go out and do the work themselves. They don't want employees. They're not looking to grow this huge company. They just want to make a little bit of additional income by being the business owner. A growth-minded business owner is probably going to be step outside the business from the get-go. They're not going to be doing the hands-on stuff, the labor, selling the products, whatever it may be. They're going to be focused on how can I grow this business every single day, whether that's new products or services, more employees, more equipment, whatever it may be. So the biggest difference is either you're okay with how you are at the moment with a lifestyle business, you're not focused on growing it any, or the growth minded is every single day you want to be bigger than you were yesterday. Yeah, I think one example of how I've helped a client out is I've had a business owner I've been working with for a while now, and he's had a company for about 17 years now. And he's getting to the point of retirement. He could retire right now if he wanted to. And that was kind of our initial conversation. He's had this company, it's kind of been a lifestyle business. And, it's like, does anybody even want this business? I'm making good income, but I don't know if anybody even wants it. So we kind of went through the whole options of everything, the exit strategies they could do. And through that process, it really reignited the flame inside of him. He hasn't, and any business owner understands, when you first start, you're excited. Wake up every day just stoked to get going. At some point, you can do it with your eyes closed, blindfolded, and it just becomes a little mundane. And he was beyond mundane at this point. But that really reignited the flame in him to say, okay, I want to do this for another 3 or 4 years. I want to leave some type of legacy. I don't necessarily care how much I get out of the business, but I want to sell this, hand it down to somebody that's really going to care for this business like I have for the past 17 years. So now he's got all these great ideas on how they can grow and do different products and services. So I think it's just reigniting that excitement that he hasn't had in probably 5 or 10 years with the business. And now he's going to be able to get what he needs out of the business, sell it for more than he ever thought was possible, and just have. Yep. So once he understood that there was these different strategies and the excitement back in the business, that also opened up a lot of thought and goal setting for his personal life also. Once he saw that, he could grow the business, maybe step outside of it a little bit, actually get a good valuation for the business in a few years when he sells, he's now looking at maybe getting a second home in Florida or spending a couple months in Italy every single year. We've been automating his business also. So if he wanted to, go to Italy for 2 months, he could still manage the entire business. At the current state, before, he had to be at his house running everything. So that was even excitement for him. It's like, let's get everything automated so you can travel. You could rent an RV and go travel the whole country for a summer if you want to, and the business could still run just as well as it was before. So I think that's an exciting part too with business owners, is really helping the personal side of their life too. They're so intertwined. The business is going to affect your personal life dramatically in positive and negative ways. And we've kind of gotten to the point that's going to be a positive impact to his personal life also. Yeah, definitely. So I think a lot of business owners, they think about their personal finances and the business finances a little bit separately. They don't see how much one is really affecting the other. When they're talking about their business strategy, it's what the business needs to grow, what the business needs. But they don't take into account how that's necessarily going to affect their personal life, their personal finances, and just their family in general. Trying to grow a business is probably going to put stress on your family financially, probably take some time away from yourself with your family also. So really what I do with Intrepid when I sit down with clients from the get-go is we have 2 buckets that we really look into. We look into the personal side of stuff, your goals, your finances, your lifestyle. And then we also look into the business side. What are the goals for the business? What's the business valued at? We set different goals for each bucket, your personal and the business, and then we bring everything together to make a holistic plan around your personal life and your business life. Business owners get in trouble when they try to keep those separated, especially if they go to a typical financial advisor. They're just looking at the personal side of things and not taking both into account. So if you keep everything separated, one part is probably going to fail in a way that you were not looking for. But when you can bring them together and make common goals between your business and your personal life, that's when everything can succeed. Yeah, so a lot of business owners, when they go to a typical financial advisor, they're only going to look at what assets you as the client have to offer the financial advisor. They're not going to worry about your business or sometimes even your goals outside of the assets that you're actually bringing to that financial advisor. So a typical financial advisor, they're great, but as a business owner, you need something more holistic. You need somebody that understands the lifestyle as a business owner, understands the stress and the sweat equity that you're putting in your business and what the return on that can be. Financial advisors talk about, I can get you 7, 8, 9, 10% in the stock market, but what about your business? Most businesses can return 20, 30, 40% if they're run properly. So when I come in and start working with a business owner, that's what when I start working with a business owner, that's what we really look at, is what's the biggest return on your investment for the extra money you have on hand. 99% of the time, it's going to be reinvesting in yourself, in your business, to increase that valuation of the business.